Hi everyone, so it's been a few weeks, almost a month actually, since I last saw some of my coworkers. And while there are certain things I do miss about them, there are certain things that I feel like I'm getting a vacation away from. And I thought I'd make a video so that people who make such mistakes can really correct it before it causes too much of a rift at their office. One of the big problems I have is that I look a little bit young for my age. I teach at a university, and it's not unusual for some of the students to think that I'm a student. They're like, "What classes are you taking?" And depending on who asks me that, sometimes I almost don't want to answer, and I'll just say, "Oh, sorry, I'm busy," or do something like that. Some people just cannot seem to accept that. I don't know if it's a case of that they're envious or whatever the case is. See, if they're envious, then I'm not sure which way it is. Are they envious that I look so young for my age, or do they actually think I'm like 18 or 19 years old and I'm teaching at the university? See, I can never understand which direction it is when people actually do get envious, unless we get to know each other and stuff like that. But okay, sometimes the students do that. And it's not just at the school either. Sometimes after work I go to a restaurant or I go out in public, and then there's a girl who's interested in me, and then she's only 17 years old, and I like that part. The problem is it makes me realize that, hey, maybe at work people are also treating me like I'm 17 years old. And what was really annoying was a couple years ago I was working somewhere else, when we came out to a holiday weekend, and my coworkers asked me what I was doing with my family, almost like my parents or maybe extended family members. Really? I live by myself. And unfortunately, this is where I get it easy. Where I don't get it easy is when people carry these attitudes in their head when we're negotiating any sort of any promotions or anything like that. See, I don't know what's going on in that sphere, but I can imagine it's even worse than what we're doing on the 4th of July, or in terms of somebody at work who's interested in me, and they don't realize that I'm much older than them, or I would imagine it's a lot worse than that. Don't treat anybody by their appearance, whether they look old or young, or whether they look healthy or not. Treat them by the content of what they're doing. Okay, on a related note, I have a restricted diet. I have some, again, even though I look very young, I have some chronic health issues that I take care of with diet. And sometimes people get very, very curious about my diet, intrusively curious. I call it dietary harassment when that happens. What will happen is that we'll be going out to an event, and maybe I'll call the restaurant ahead of time, right, to find out if they can prepare something that would be suitable for me. We go to the restaurant, they're like, "Here, try one bite," and I refuse, and they get really, really curious. Why not? What kind of condition do you have? What would happen if you took it? Blah, 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 blah. And, really, I don't go up to my coworker and ask them, "What kind of drugs do you take? Do you have cancer? Do you have heart disease?" I think it would be very inappropriate for me to do that. Yet when it's food that you're using to treat your condition, oh my God, it's perfectly okay to dig. Oh my God, do you have an addictive personality? Is that why you can't drink even one soda because you'll drink more? And come on, try it. You would never push. Imagine if you were asking somebody for a sexual favor and you pushed the same way that you push food. It would never go very well, right? Or imagine that somebody had a chronic condition that they're treating not with food but with a drug produced by a giant corporation, right? You would never push what people take, why they take it, why they can't get off of it, oh my God, you should be eating this, and you would never push that, right? And so I'm not saying they should eat how I eat or anything like that. I would never do that, but I think we should live and let live with our food choices, and with our drug choices and our sexual choices, right? I treat those three as almost like an equivalent. They're all personal choices that don't really affect anybody else, right? Another thing that really bothers me is that people think that I know what I want. They know what I want more than what I know what I want. So a couple days ago, well no, this is weeks ago now, because I get my days confused now. I went to the tutoring center where I work, and I was I can't remember what I was doing that day, but I'd spent a lot of time in the car already. And so when I got to the center, as I was preparing for the kid who was going to be coming in, I wanted to stretch a little bit. So I was standing at my desk and reaching, because we have a very low desk. And my manager was saying, "Oh, come on, have a seat, have a seat." And I don't want to argue with him. But how does he know what I want for my body more than what I know what I want for myself, right? I think I'm old enough to make that decision. If I'm one of the students and I'm 8 or 9 years old and I don't know where the chairs are, yeah, okay. But I think I'm old enough to realize where the chairs are, or old enough to ask for them if I needed them, right? Anyways, those are just little things that we should all pay attention to, be a little bit sensitive to around our world, right? Two of my clients at the tutoring center really, I know I talked extensively about this, but I thought I'd put it in this video because this is work related again. I had only 20 minutes in between clients one time to get some food, and I went to the Whole Foods. So this is like a 5-minute drive away, to pick up some lunch, and I get back to the center, and we have a classroom, and there's a waiting room outside. And I look at my clock, I got 12 minutes to eat or whatever it is. And the student shows up early. And you know what, I had already taken a few bites, and I just got really uncomfortable. My mouth was watering like crazy. And I was in no mood to start the tutoring, but you know, I made the mistake of starting early with him in the past, and it kind of normalized that. I didn't know what to do, and you know, the kid's old enough to really be sensitive to what's going on around him, and it just makes me realize that maybe I should be a little bit more sensitive. I know I've probably interrupted people when they're in the middle of their meals. Again, especially for me, I treat eating almost like a very private activity sometimes, and this is really annoying. It was like a mental traffic jam, if you will. What do I do? You know, I can't, you know, the kid has some expectations, I have my own, and I think he could have been a little bit more sensitive. Yeah, I could have told him that I need to finish my lunch, but I thought he was old enough to see that, you know. I don't want to bother him with this, but at the end of our of him as my client, I'll probably let him know how I felt that day. I had another client who I ran into another traffic jam just like this. This is a 7-8-year-old kid, and I was supposed to tutor him from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. at their home. And I had an event in Ellensburg, Washington. This is about a 2-hour drive away. That was at 10 p.m. So I really needed to end at 8 p.m. sharp at the kid's home. And so I get to the kid's home at 6:52. Because I wanted to make sure we start on time so we can end on time. I mean, we almost never end on time, even when we do start on time. So that's why I wanted to make sure. I get to their home at 6:52, and I'm expecting to sit in their living room and maybe catch something on the news before we start or something like that. But his mom they were eating dinner, and his mom just, "Come on, finish your dinner," and he almost choked to death. And I didn't realize they would do that. I've gone to people's homes early before, and usually I get to sit around and maybe check something on my computer or maybe get something ready for the lesson. I've never seen somebody rush their events just to get started earlier. But you know, these two clients, there is one positive. There are a lot of clients who don't want to start on time. They keep looking at the clock during the session. They want to get out of there. And there's a bright side to that too, but I think we should be a little bit sensitive to what's going on around us. I made the mistake of not being open about it. Hey, I really need to be in Ellensburg by 10 p.m. today. Can we make sure to start and end on time? Had I called them and said that, I don't think they would have been eating dinner up to the time that I showed up. And it just makes me realize that when you're around other people, there are a lot of different preferences that sometimes don't interact very well, especially when you don't know what other people's preferences are and vice versa. And this is something I hope to work on when I get back to the office. Thanks for watching.